Hello, this is PotatoClips. I'm going to do a tutorial on how to make a jet flyby, and I'm going to do this as fast as possible because I've already done this 2 or 3 times, except that both of them took about 2 hours because I kept forgetting what to do, but you know, I think it'll work out this time. Alright, so I'm going to be creating something like this. Alright. So in here you have smoke trails, rain, water droplets on the screen, the jet, and lens flare. Yeah. So starting off, you need 3 pictures. 1 of a background, 2 of a jet, and if it's flying away from the screen, then it should be from behind him, unless you want the jet flying backwards, or I don't know. You can do what you want, but I'm going to have one from behind, and I want to be able to see right down the middle of the plane, just like that. It helps a lot with perspective and all that. Yeah. And third is a PNG of a cloud. You can find this on the videocopilot.net site. It has to be PNG because it needs a transparent background. If it's a JPEG, then it'll end up having a white background, and that would be bad. This is what you're going to make the smoke trail out of. Alright. So, starting off, you open up After Effects. Take all of these 3, just take all of them, drag them, just drag them right into there, into your project file. Then you're gonna make a new composition. Right click, new comp, call it whatever you want. I'm just gonna call it jet comp, or main jet comp. Then change the duration to maybe 5 seconds. It depends on how long you want the flyby to be. I mean, they fly by pretty fast, so you know, not too long. Preset, I'm going to set this to HDTV 720, 29.97 frames per second. Yeah, that's all set. You're going to take your background. I have this right here. Just gonna put it, whoops, it's not the middle. Just gonna drag it right into the middle there. Yeah. Then take the jet, drag it right onto there. I'm gonna mask around the jet by going up here, click the pen tool. I'm gonna do it as fast a masking as I can. It really does not have to be detailed because jets fly by fast, so you won't be able to catch all of the little details. And for this, since it has smoke in the front of it, so I'm just gonna guess the where it's going to be, and a little miscoloring from the smoke is fine. There's gonna be more smoke in front of it anyway. Yeah, so don't worry about it. Alright. Now you got your jet, automatically it cuts out all that. See, there's a big chunk of gray here. To cut that out, all you need to do is, when you're still selected on this on the jet layer, just make a second mask, click on here, go to the drop down, go to masks, this is the second mask. It'll show it with these, if I click on it, it'll show all the points as squares instead of these circles, or smaller squares or whatever they are. Yeah, mask 2, just switch it from add to subtract, and there you go. Just click on the mouse thing. Alright, and you've got your jet. Yeah, you can feather this a bit by clicking F. That'll just smooth the edges. Maybe just feather it 1. That's fine. And if you have too much gray here, then you can do more drop down and go to expansion, make it -1, and it'll just pull in the mask a bit, and that looks good. Alright, so this point right here is its anchor point. That's where it's going to, that's the point it's going to rotate around. If I click on this, click R, or go to transform, and then you can see the R, and I increase this, it's going to spin around that point. We don't want that. We want it to spin around a point that it's angled towards, and on this line, if you follow it, it's going to be somewhere around here. So I'm going to take the anchor point, just drag this until it looks like a good spot to rotate around. That looks pretty good, and you can do this, so it's not too bad. Alright, next you want to just angle this, and then you know what, you can hide the mask by clicking on this button right here. Just drag it over to where you want it. Yeah. So for this, you want to be out of screen before it flies by, because otherwise it's just going to be sitting there until it moves, and that would look weird. So I'm going to have it off screen, maybe around here. Then make it a 3D object by clicking right there. And you can see all these points, and if you hit the Z or move the Z around, it'll move forward in space. Yeah. Just undo that. Alright. So I'm going to drag it a little way back in space. Then keyframe it. To do this, you go to the beginning, click on the stopwatch at position, then go to the end, or actually, you know what, I want to delay it about a second, so I'm just going to put the keyframe right at 1 second. Then at the end, you just drag this, and you can see the trail it's making. Then I just drag it to the point where I want it. And you know what, the trail it's following looks a little strange, so it looks like it would follow more of a path like that. And maybe I'll just take this point, drag it down a bit. That looks good. And I can change the rotation a bit as well. Yeah. Alright, maybe I'll put this way back in Z space, so be, I don't know, 20,000. That's fine. So now if you watch this, or you just drag through it, you'll see that it flies by. So click that, make it a little higher, go to the end, make it, yeah, that's fine. Alright, cool. And maybe I want it to rotate a little as well. So I'll go to 1 second, click the Z rotation. That's where it's gonna. That's what it's gonna swivel around, and it starts swiveling there. So now at the end, maybe I want it to do a 180 or something, or about, I don't know, maybe a little more. So now you can see it's just going to to rotate around like that. Alright, and if you turn on motion blur by clicking right here, and you can enable it here, now you can see it looks more realistic by blurring it with the speed. Alright, next are smoke trails. So what I'm going to do is make gonna go to 2 seconds, or wherever you can see this. I'm gonna turn this off so it's clear. And I'm going to make a new light, and I'll call it smoke right. It doesn't matter what it's called. Well, I don't know. I would just call it smoke right. Then another light, smoke left. Smoke left. Alright, and it may make this lighter. Don't worry about that. And I guess since this is a 3D object, and if it bothers you, then you can go to Material Options and turn Accept Lights to off, and Accept Shadows. Set that to off. I have the lights not to cast shadows anyway, so it wouldn't matter. Yeah. So now, at 2 seconds, go to P or position of the jet, and do the same with each light. Now, what you need to do is set each of the positions equal to the jet. So you can use expressions in case you end up changing it, but I think it'll follow it once you link them anyway. So I'm just gonna do -188 and 97 and 4172, and do the same for this. Alright, so now they're all in the same relative space. These are matched right onto the anchor point of this. So now, before you do anything else, take this swirly thing and just drag it from each light onto the name of the jet. That way, the light will follow just like that. So now you can take each light. What is this? Smoke left. So I'm gonna just drag it up right to there, and then I'm going to do the same with smoke right onto there. So now if I drag through, they both match the smoke completely, or they match the point where the smoke comes out completely. Alright, so now you have your two lights, smoke left and right. You need to make a new solid. Call it a smoke trail, I guess. Trail, yeah. Okay. It's just going to be a black screen. And this, you probably need a plugin called Trapcode Particular. I usually don't like to require extra plugins that you need to pay for, but this is just so good for so many different things that I really recommend getting it. And the built-in simulation stuff are pretty crap. I mean, not to point any fingers, it could have been done better. I mean, Adobe's doing a good job, so I won't complain, but anything but those. Alright, so you go to emitter, lights, emitter type set to lights. It's mode of lights. Start with emitter. Okay. Alright. So I named it says that they should start with emitter, so you could rename these by double clicking and change it to emitter, which is what I'll do, but I'll show you how to change the option. So if you go here, you just go options, light name starts with, then change it to whatever you named the lights, or whatever the first word of the lights was. So if it's emitter left, keep it on emitter. If it's something else, does that have to be capitalized? My god, it might. I have no idea. Whatever. Okay. So you go. You can see the particles are following just like that. Now you can hide both the lights by clicking on the little eye things. Go to smoke trail, velocity, set that to 0, set this to 0, and that to 0, and that to 0. Emitter size, yeah, I would make it 0, just to make your life easier, because it could be big or small or whatever. I'd just leave it at 0. Alright, so then with in your project file, you need to take the smoke cloud, drag it all the way to the bottom. You can hide it. It just has to be there. It doesn't have to do anything. Then go back to effect controls, click on smoke trail. Then you want to go to particle. Set the particle type from sphere to sprite colorize. A sprite is a textured polygon that always faces the camera. So if you have a textured polygon, it's gonna like spin around and it'll look like paper, so don't do that. Keep on a sprite. Set the life to, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 or whatever the length of your clip is. And life random, I wouldn't do more than 10 because then it'll look choppy. But it's always good to have a little random in there. So then go to texture, change the layer to your smoke thing. And now if I zoom in, you can see it's little clouds there. So I can bring up the size, maybe 30. I don't know. It depends on. It really depends on the relative scale of everything else. Opacity, maybe bring that down to 50. And opacity random, maybe another 10% or something. I don't know. Color random, unless you want a rainbow, I wouldn't mess around with that. Just change the color to a little darker, or I guess whatever color you want. I mean, you can have red smoke if you want. I'm just gonna do dark gray. Transfer mode, that's all set. Opacity over life and size over life. These are pretty important to make for realism. Opacity over life, you want to just click this button, and what it's going to do is, as it goes through, it's going to fade out. Maybe I want the life be a little less, you know, maybe like that. Maybe not too smoggy. So 4 seconds looks good. Alright, so you got that, and size over life, you want to click on that as well, but just flip it, and then just click and drag a little bit so it doesn't start off at 0. and then turn the size up a little just to match the size of the emitter thing right here, whatever that is called. I don't know anything about jets, so you know. Yeah. I think it needs a little more particles per second, but really it's whatever your computer can handle. I'll set it to 200. Lastly, go to rotation. Rotation, let's see, random rotation. Turn that up a little bit, just a little, maybe like 5. And scrub through, see how it looks. It's not bad. I think it looks alright. Alright, so that's all for the smoke. You can close that, or no, don't. Well, yeah. Just click this little triangle to hide the stuff. Alright, next, lens flares. Alright, I recommend getting optical flares, but there are other ways to do it. Really, everything that Trapcode or everything that Red Giant and Video Copilot do is amazing. So if you have some extra cash, you know, it's good to get those. But there is a built-in lens flare plugin in After Effects. I just haven't used it much. Yeah. All right. So you want to go to new. You want to make 2 new lights, and don't call them emitter. Just, or whatever you named your other lights, just don't start it off with the same name. So I'm just going to leave it as light 1 and 2. I'll just go to a good spot, 2 seconds, set the position to the same thing so that they have a good point of reference. 188, negative 188, I mean, 97, 4172. This is going to be different for you, but I just need to say things out loud. Oh crap. If you hit caps lock, it disables the refresh thing, so just hit it again to fix it. Alright. Before you do anything, link them to the jet. So I'll do that now. You can do that by dragging the swirly thing, or by clicking here and setting the parent to whatever the jet layer is. Alright, now that they're linked, they should follow the anchor point. Nice. Now you can move them up to the little engines there. Yeah. So now, there you go. They follow the engines. Alright. So now you need new solid lens flare. You can call it whatever you want. I'm gonna go to Video Copilot, optical flares. Just gonna open this thing here, and you can change the render mode to transparent to get rid of the black, or you can go to modes and click change normal to screen. Either way is fine. It's really, it depends on the situation. So, but for this, it's fine either way. You have this interface thing. It's really cool. You can edit stuff. You can mess around with it. I have these custom presets, and I'm going to use my jet flare custom thing. Hit OK. So now, if I hide the background, you can see the jet flare. Positioning mode, you want to set that to track lights. Alright, and it only the default is on the select lights is on. You want to set that to all, and it's gonna make lights on all of these. So if you like that, I mean, that's kind of cool. You can keep that. Actually, I might keep that. But if you don't want, if you only want it on the engine, then what you would do is set the name starts to, and then the first letter of whatever you made the light. But since I left it on light, I can just do this and it'll make it that. Then I can hide the other lights to make it cleaner. Oops. From that, and then there we go. Now you got your lenses. Now I can just hide all this stuff, or not hide them, but close the tabs. I can turn on the motion blur for both of these, smoke trail and lenses, and then turn that on, and then it will blur with that. Yeah. Alright. If you want wind and stuff like that, which I suggest you do, go to smoke trail, open particular back up, then go to physics. Air, gravity is fine, just go to the air, and then mess with the wind X. So maybe you want it to move past the screen or something. It's kind of cool. But if you do it too much on a low place like this, like on my porch, then it might look kind of strange. So I'm just going to keep it kind of low. Alright. And you know what? Maybe just to make this simple, I'll just keep it like this, and now I can turn up the size like that, so you get a good thick smoggy you know, smoke there. I mean, once you know how to do this, then you can mess with it however way you want. But this looks good. Alright. Next is to edit the background here. I mean, you can leave it the way you want. That's fine. You could be done right now. But I want to, you know, do anything. I just want to throw in more special effects. So I'm going to make it darker. There are a couple ways to do this. You can mask around the shadow and darken the entire top layer, and I'll do that now. So what you do is you take the background layer, Control D to duplicate it, take the mask tool. Here, I'll just go to the beginning so there's nothing in the way, and you just mask around just like that. And I have a pretty defined shadow. You might not get something like this, and maybe doing this method will just make it look strange. I mean, a lot of the time it would. But I've done this before. It can look fine if you do it right. Then when you've got this, just go up like that, around, connect it back to there. Okay, so now you've got this top layer, and if you hide the back layer, you'll see that it's just that. Go to the top layer, go to color correction, brightness and contrast, and color correction, curves. So now you got these two open. You can try just turning down the brightness, and I'll hide the mask so it's clear. And that looks really weird, but don't worry about it just yet. I mean, like, you can turn on the contrast and try to match it. You can make it look foggy, dark, you know, just. And once and maybe you don't need curves. I mean, you can do this kind of thing, or change this changes the contrast. Maybe you want it to be kind of a red sky. So then you can go to you can feather the mask, so that it looks like kind of a close up and far away type thing, like this is a line of trees. Then go to mask, mess with the expansion so that it's, you know, a little cleaner. Maybe feather it some more. Or you can make it, you can try to match it the best you can. If I shut that off by hitting the function thing, that looks good. I like that. It's kind of bleak. Not that I like bleak, but it's a cool effect, and it makes the lens flares stand out a lot, which is awesome. Yeah. All right. I think we're getting there. We are. Maybe I'll just edit this a little more. Maybe a bit more. Well, no, that looks. All right. I'll change the expansion back to like 1. Alright, if I reset that, maybe I can match this by making it a little more green. So a bit, make it a little darker. Take some red out of it. Maybe feather it at 10. And that looks pretty good. I like it. And that kind of hides the shadow. So if you want to make the sky look a little darker, or the whole thing, you can take both these layers, highlight them, pre-compose them to background. Now you've got your clean background right there. Just go to curves, or yeah, I'll go to curves. Alright, just take the RGB, bring it down. Now you've got this nighttime look. And I took this picture in the morning, so, you know, day to night is possible. But now the smoke looks really light and that looks strange, so I'm going to make the smoke chill darker. Particular, roll it to there. And maybe I think I'll turn down the opacity as well. Where is it? Opacity. Maybe see what 25 looks like, or maybe even lower. I think 20 will work. Alright, cool. So now, I think the only thing left is rain and camera shake. So, new solid, rain. Go to, and the simulation, the built-in simulations will actually work fine in this. You can even just do rainfall. It works. Except rainfall is good for an adjustment layer. You can switch this to an adjustment layer by just clicking this, or instead of making a solid, you do new adjustment layer and apply rainfall to that. And I think I'll just leave it with the basic rainfall. Scene depth, turn that up a bit because it's a big background, so that looks cool. You can play it. The lens flares kind of obscure the jet. I don't know if you think that's a good thing, but either way, you can turn down the brightness of the lenses or whatever you need. Oh, crap. What you should probably do is set the jet far back enough so that you don't see these lenses here. Or you can just go to lens flare, click on that, optical flares, and try to drag them away to hide them. Because otherwise it appears, it looks like the jet is just floating there until it passes by. So maybe you want to do something like that. I don't know. Whatever works for you. Alright. Next, to make droplets on the screen. Just highlight all of these, pre-compose, call it, I don't know, scene, jet scene, whatever, it's okay. Click it, Control D to duplicate it, and go to the top one, go to simulation, Mr. Mercury. Now you've got this, and the way that the light of this thing is set up, it looks like the droplets are in front of a screen, so it looks kind of strange. So what we want to do first is go to light, keep it on that, and change the light height to 0. Now it looks better. I mean, maybe we want to do a negative. It doesn't change it much. I would keep it on 0. Yeah. So now we've got this. I'm going to change velocity to 0 for now. Birth rate, change it to 0.07. I think that would work. Radius X, turn that way up. Maybe like 200. I don't know. It depends on your resolution, I think. Turn that up a bit as well. So now you got these, and they're blobbing in and out, which is bad. You want it to be constant blobs. And you want to change the life cycle, or no, the longevity up to whatever your clip is. You don't want them to be disappearing in the middle of the clip, so maybe I'll turn it to 5. Now change the birth size closer to the death size. You want them to immediately be big, like they're hitting the screen. See? Look at that. It's cool. It's moving too fast, so you want to bring the gravity way down. Maybe let's see what 0.1 looks like if I just play that. Oh, that looks good. Alright. Lastly, for this, go to, and stay in this, right click, go to Distort, Turbulent Displace. Go to a point where you can see them, and turn the size down a lot, so it's all wiggly, wavy. Maybe 15. I don't know. That's probably fine. Maybe the amount, just leave the amount on 50. I think that's all you need to do. So now it looks more realistic. Alright. And definitely want to save it. Nice. So now with this, maybe you don't want the camera to shake. I don't know how smooth these jets are in the future, but nowadays they would probably cause quite the ruckus if they're flying so low. So there are two things you could do. Either you want this to seem like the camera has water on it, or that you're looking through a window which has water on it. I can show you both. First, I guess I'll do the window. Yeah. Window, is it? I don't know. Just I'll tell you when I figure out which one I'm doing. Alright. So go to your bottom layer and hold shift and click S and then click shift P. So now you open both these, or you could just go to the drop down of transform. Turn the scale up to about 110, just so you can move this around without it doing anything. So go to a point which is a little before it goes in the screen. So maybe I'll do start at 1 second. Go to position, click the stopwatch, and just make sure that's always in frame. Just move this around. I mean, there are other ways to shake a camera, but I mean, you're not gonna have it shake for that long, so you can do this by hand. And just as it gets closer, have it more violent shaking. And then once it gets farther away, have it smooth out a bit. Alright, and this was 640, the starting position was 640 and 360. You don't have to set it back to what it was, but I think that I'm just going to do that. So now you got this good shake there. And you know what, maybe I take this, drag it, and then maybe I want it to fade back in, so I can just delete a couple of these. So now it's just gonna slowly move back. And this method is as if you're holding a camera and the water is hitting the camera. The water droplets are on the camera. If you want it to look like a like it's on a window, then here's what you do. Make a new keyframe just by clicking this at the beginning. Then take the position, control click, scale to highlight both of these. Just control C. Then select both these, pre-compose, window comp. Hit OK. Then go to the drop down of transform and just click Control V. Now you have all of the same information from this scene, except now it's in here. But the problem is you need since they're both going to move. This is already shaking. Now this is going to shake like crazy. Maybe we want that. I don't know. Here's a way to easily switch between two. You take the bottom scene, Control D, duplicate it. Then you go to transform, go to the beginning, uncheck position, and change the scale back to 100%. Now you have two scenes that are the same, and you don't want both of them. You just want one or the other. Or you can turn the bottom one on, it doesn't really matter, but if you turn the top one off, it has the one that shakes. If you turn this back on, it doesn't shake. See what I mean? Now if you go to the main comp, now both the droplets and the screen shake, so it looks like you're looking through a window. Kinda cool. Alright, click out of that. Lastly is the rack focus. maybe someone is looking at these water droplets, they think they're interesting, but then once the jet goes by, your attention changes from the droplets to that. So to do a cool rack focus, go to 1 second, or wherever you delayed it, and I'm going to take this scene, because I'm just hiding that one now. I'm going to go to blur and sharpen, fast blur, do the same for the Mr. Mercury layer, fast blur. At 1 second, you want to blur the background, so maybe I'll set it to 10. Oh wait, no, that's not the background. Yeah, you want to blur the background, so set it to 10, or however blur you want it, and it's gonna have this black background, or black border. Just hit repeat edge pixels to get rid of it. Then click the stopwatch on blurriness, and do the same for fast blur, or for the droplet thing, except with 0. You can click E to show the effects of the scene, or you can go to drop down, find them that way. Go to the fast blur drop down. You see the blurriness. Go to the point where you think someone would be able to move their attention from the droplets to the jet. Maybe I'll put it there. Now set the blurriness of the droplets to about 10, and the blurriness of the jet or background to 0. Now, as you move between these, the focus fades from the droplets to the jet. And you can do that before you duplicate the scene, so that you have the same fast blur information. I'm not gonna bother with that right now, but you have enough information to be able to do it yourself. So yeah, there's your scene. I'm just gonna render this out, show you the finished video. Main jet comp, just drag this down. I have this automatically set to H.264. That's the MP4 format. Is it? Yeah. Yeah, this is MP4. So you can go to that, you get your format options, all that other stuff. Yeah, I have it set as a template thing, so it's fine. Just render it out to desktop or wherever. Yeah. Alright, I rendered it out, and I'll show you here. Finished. You can add sound effects, you can make the jet go faster. Once you know how to do this, you can really just go crazy. And yeah, that's it from PotatoClips. Like and subscribe and all that other crap that people always ask. Yeah, if you like my tutorials, I have a couple others on my channel. I also have Arnold Plays, if you like Arnold impressions while I played video games. I don't know, some people enjoy that type of thing. And yeah, that's it.